Lorenzo Gilyard was a quiet man, a father, husband, and hard-working trash collector in Kansas City. But for nearly 2 decades, he was also one of the deadliest serial killers Missouri had ever seen. From 1977 to 1993, women, mostly black, many poor or involved in sex work, were found strangled in alleys, under bridges, and behind abandoned buildings. Most of their deaths went unnoticed, their lives considered disposable by a system that never saw them. While the city slept, Gilyard stalked its edges in silence. He didn't stand out. He lived in modest homes, worked regular jobs, and blended into the same neighborhoods where his victims lived and died. There were no public manhunts, no task forces. Each body was seen as an isolated crime, a random act of violence not part of a larger pattern. His method was simple: gain their trust, isolate them, then kill, always by strangulation. But he varied his approach just enough to confuse law enforcement. The evidence remained circumstantial, and without DNA testing, the cases went cold one by one. Gilyard used society's indifference as camouflage. His victims were women already ignored, young, poor, and many battling addiction or homelessness. Their stories barely made the news. Their murders were filed away, and Gilyard, hiding in plain sight, kept going. By the early 1990s, he had taken the lives of at least 13 women. He showed no signs of slowing down. Then in 2004, Missouri's cold case unit began using DNA to re-examine old evidence. What they found shook them. Samples taken from several murder scenes matched a single profile. When that DNA was finally tested against the state offender registry, the name it returned was shocking: Lorenzo Gilyard. He had never been a suspect. But now, science placed him at the scenes of murders dating back more than 25 years. In 2007, Gilyard was tried and convicted of 6 murders, with at least 7 more tied to him by DNA. Prosecutors described him as methodical, cold, and deeply manipulative. His victims included teenagers and women in their 40s, all lured in and killed by someone who wore the mask of normalcy. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The question isn't just how he got away with it. It's why no one looked harder. Would the media have paid attention? Kansas City now knows a predator lived among them for years, but only because technology finally revealed what human bias ignored. Lorenzo Gilyard is still serving time in a Missouri prison. His name is rarely mentioned alongside America's most notorious killers. The women Gilyard murdered were not nameless, and now their stories are finally being told.